Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I want to show you the results of the bridge test. And you might ask me, why bridge? What's so special about it? Bridge stones are pretty cheap right now, even the Chayula bridge stones, as you can see here, right now are 45C, and it's pretty much not worth doing it. Why would I even want to do this strategy? So there are basically two main reasons why I wanted to do it, and first reason is exactly what I just said. Because a lot of strategies that are not popular, if you actually try them out, they turn out very often to be actually pretty decent, and sometimes they might surprise you. And that was, for example, the case with bestiary. A lot of people have been telling me, oh, you shouldn't do bestiary, it's pretty bad, no one is doing it because it's terrible. And I tried it out, and it turned out that it's actually a very good strategy, and you can make 10x plus per hour with it. And I have been doing it for the last few leagues since I tried it out. So I decided maybe I should just give it a try, and maybe it actually is gonna be pretty nice. And the second reason is because of the challenges. There is a challenge to complete 100 breaches, defeat Chayula, Ksesht Ula, which is the new breach boss, and there is also a challenge to kill a breach boss in the wild while affected by Covetous Shrine. So a lot of challenges this league are very grindy, so I decided to do this strategy to also do the challenge at the same time. And also, by the way, a lot of my strategies in the next few days or weeks are gonna be based around these challenges, because like I said, a lot of them are very grindy, so I want to complete them, so I figured I might as well do videos about these strategies based around them. Okay, so yeah, these are basically two reasons why I wanted to do this. So now let's talk about the strategy. So first thing is I was doing it in dunes, and I was valuing all of the maps. I was using 4 chisels and then valuing them for the most amount of quantity. And you can do this also in, for example, Park is a very popular map. I have been doing Legion in the past in Park, and it is a very open map, so it's definitely a nice choice, but I decided to go for dunes because I, to be honest, just like the map, and I haven't done any strategies in that map in a while, so I decided to go for it. The sextants, I was using the additional breach sextant. On top of that, I was using the 3 breaches from Gilded Breach and additional breach from Map Device. So in total, I was getting 5 breaches every single map. Next thing is, breaches in your maps belong to Chayula. So if you are using Gilded Breach Scarab and the other things, and you have 5 breaches every map, this is actually worth it. If you would go for only like 2-3 breaches, you definitely shouldn't go for this sextant, but if you have a lot of breaches in your map, it's definitely worth it to go for the Chayula, because other breach stones are even cheaper. They go for like 15C, so it's definitely not even worth to pick up other splinters than Chayula. Maybe Ulnetol could be decent, but you definitely should go for Chayula. And the last sextant is Gilded Scarab sextant, because to be honest, it's just additional currency. You can always just use it, why not? It doesn't hurt you. In terms of the Atlas tree, I went for the Covetous Shrine and all other shrine things, because again, challenge, I had to find a lot of shrines to get not only shrine, but also the breach boss at the same time. Also the essences, because I mean essences are just free additional currency, so why not? Seance to be able to proc the compass for the Gilded Scarabs, some additional Guardian maps, and I went for the green influence, so the Eater of Words. To be honest, because of the red one is pretty hard to do, because it increases the amount of damage taken by a lot, and my build is pretty squishy, so I decided to go for the green one. And also I haven't done this one the entire league at all, and I also want to do the challenge to complete like I think 250 altars, so yeah, that's also the reason why I wanted to go for this. And everything else is just the additional effect of map modifiers, quantity. So basically my maps would be at like 200% quantity with all of the things combined very often, and everything else is just breaches. So first one is, a map has a chance to contain Ksesht Ula, which gives every single splinter, so you would get also Ul, Netol, Tool, Ash, and so on. So it's not that great, but something extra, so why not? probing the weakness, it gives 4% chance to contain breaches. And I am actually not even sure if it does anything, because it doesn't say your maps have a 4% chance to contain an extra breach. It's just to contain like breaches, so any breach. So if you technically already have a guaranteed breach from Scarab, this wording would mean that it doesn't do anything because your map already has breach in them. Maybe it does what you would expect it to do, which is chance for extra breach, but I'm not sure. I was, for example, expecting the same thing with Secret Stash, which gives 4% chance to contain a Smuggler Cache, but if you guarantee Smuggler Cache with Sextant, you actually can't get the second one. So this one doesn't do anything if you use the Sextant for guaranteed Smuggler Cache. So technically, there is a chance that this also doesn't do anything. But yeah, I decided to go for this anyway. Here's just some additional monsters and chance for rehands. This point actually doesn't do anything because you're always gonna have Chayula, so this doesn't do anything, but you need to take one of the points to get Gatekeepers, which gives additional chance for a boss and more Splinters from the boss. So every time you kill a boss, you're actually gonna get 20 Splinters. Here, within their grasp, chance for a full Bridgestone and chance that they will be enriched, charged or pure. And when you look at my Bridgestone tab, I did not get a single enriched, charged or pure, so this is pretty much worthless, but 8% chance to drop a Bridgestone is decent, and I actually a few times got full Bridgestone. Not that many times, but yeah, I guess 8% of the time. And Flash Bridge is probably the most important one, because it's not only gonna give you more monsters in a bridge, but also it's gonna make them open and close faster, which is a big deal. It increases the difficulty of the encounter, but if they open faster, it's gonna reduce the time you're gonna spend in a bridge, and that's very important because bridges generally are very slow, so you don't want to spend too much time in the map. And the maps are already, with 5 bridges, they are already pretty long, so yeah, this one is definitely good to take. And yeah, that's basically it in terms of tree. Now let's talk about my build. So the build that I'm using is Tornado Shot. I just recently made it, and this is the first strategy I'm doing with it. I paid a little bit more than 1000 exalts for a build, so it has insane clear, insane single target, but to be honest, it is very squishy. And it is actually a big deal for this strategy that it is very squishy, because I was also going for the Sentinels. And in terms of the Sentinels, I was using mostly currency, some with Sentinel rewards. I think I used one with Scarab, so most of them were with the currency rewards, so nothing too crazy. And this is my controller, by the way, if you're wondering what I was using. And the issue with my build being squishy and Sentinel is that very often I would open the breach, so let's say breach is here, I would run into it, I would just run around, wait for the breach to accumulate the monsters. You don't want to wait too long because breach can just close if you wait too long, but you would basically wait, and then at some point when there is enough monsters, you either just use your Sentinel or you run in to increase the amount of monsters you can hit with your Sentinel, especially the blue one, and you hit it. And I would say like 20% of the time, at that point I would just die because my build is just squishy, and yeah, when you are using this, you are risking a lot when there's a lot of monsters in a bridge. And maybe when I'm gonna do the example, you're gonna see that maybe that's gonna happen. We'll see. But yeah, I would say like 20% of the time I would die, which means I would not only lose the bridge, because when I would go back to the map, the bridge would be already gone, but also I would lose all of the Sentinel rewards, because the monsters affected by the Sentinel would be bridge monsters. And if bridge close, these monsters disappear, so no Sentinel rewards for you, so it's a double loss. So yeah, dying for this strategy, definitely pretty bad. So yeah, now let me actually show you the example. Actually, I don't need to use the Sextant because I already have them applied. And Scarab, Bridge, and Eater of Words, and let's go. So yeah, maybe I will die once, so you will see how it looks like. And you can do this strategy two ways. You can either just go in and start clearing like normally, or you can just straight up jump until you reach the boss, kill the boss, so that you can no longer get the boss rewards from the altars. And I believe the quantity altar that increases the quantity dropped from the map monsters in the map also increases the amount of splinters you're gonna get. So I did this few times, sometimes I didn't do it. To be honest, it takes a pretty long time to just clear them up first and then go for the bridgestone. So it is, to be honest, up to you what you want to go for. I think it doesn't matter at the end that much, because again, if you're gonna do it this way, you're gonna spend a bit more time in the maps, but you're gonna also get a little bit extra loot. So as you can see here, I'm not even getting any altars. Okay, here is the first one, and it doesn't even have the quantity. Let's see if I'm gonna get maybe a second one. And I'm using, by the way, weapon swap for the Lipsum, in case you're wondering. Looks like, okay, there is one more. Okay, and there is one with quantity, so technically this should increase the amount of splinters I get. And now I can start clearing. I would also do the expedition, but let's just do it faster. So now I'll do the run out. I would wait for the monsters, and now I am using my sentinel, and I'm starting to clear. So this time I got lucky, I didn't die. Now I would click all of the hands, and hands are pretty annoying to click. They have a very small box to click on. Let's go to the bottom. Okay, so as you can see, I wasn't even able to click all of them. Let's go for the second one. This one is in a corner, so I'm gonna use the red one instead. And with the red one, I just wait for a few seconds, then I start shooting. Then wait again a little bit, start shooting again, and so on. So you could give monsters some time to be empowered by the sentinel. At least when the bridge is smaller, you have an easier time with clicking hands. Okay, this one is in the middle, so let's try to use the second charge of the blue sentinel. Actually, there is not that many monsters, so I'm gonna do it next time. Sometimes you can see when breach is not spawning that many monsters, then you can just wait for the better breach for the sentinel. That's actually a nice thing about the strategy. It is actually pretty good for sentinels. It's not like crazy good, you can probably do better in glacier still, but it is pretty decent for the sentinel. And actually quite a lot of rewards that I got from the strategy actually came from the sentinels. Okay, so let's here use the last charge of sentinel. Okay, so here I didn't run in the middle because I noticed that there's a lot of monsters and I just didn't want to risk it. If I charge in there, there will be a very high chance I would die. So yeah, this time I guess I didn't die a single time, but I can definitely tell you that I did die quite a lot during this test. Okay, so now let's start picking up the loot so you can see how many overall splinters I got from a map. I think, let me just double check if I cleared all of the breaches. No, there's one more. Okay, let's do it. Not a single boss. Most of the time you would actually find like one, maybe two bosses per map. So I think it's like 20%. But it looks like not a single boss this time. And you can only see a boss on the minimap. It has been changed, I think, 1 week ago. Now you can actually see when there's a boss in a bridge when you look at the minimap. Okay, that's all of the bridges. Now I'm gonna loot everything and I'm gonna skip so you can see how much loot I got. Okay, so I finished looting everything, and as you can see I got 95 splinters. It took a little bit of time. As you can see, if you look at the timer here, looting the splinters, it is pretty annoying when you have to like loot them one by one. Like just run around and click on every single splinter. It takes a little bit of time, but it is worth it. If you think about it, if full bridgestone is 45C, every single splinter is worth around half a chaos, so it's definitely worth to pick them up. And here you can see other loot. So of course I got Gilded Scarabs from the Gilded Scarab Sextant and few rings. And rings, you want to pick them up because you can actually sell them. One full inventory of breach rings you can sell to a vendor for the Grasping Mail. And Grasping Mail, if it's gonna have increased global defenses, even not fractured, I think it's worth right now around 10 exalts. So you can definitely pick up the rings and then gamble for the chest, or you can sell them on TFT, and I believe people are buying them. I think it has to be item level at least 83, and then you can sell them to people for between 1.5 to 2C per ring. So it's actually a pretty nice addition to the strategy. And here you can see all of the rewards, mostly from the Sentinels, just from one map. And I would say on average I would get around this amount of splinters. If I would not die, most of the time I would get pretty much just one full bridgestone. And I'm missing 5 splinters here. Okay, so now let's look at the results of the test. So here you can see all of the loot. I got decent amount of like uniques. I got 1 Enlighten, 7 Nick Steps, Might of a Mig, which is kind of whatever. 2 exalts, and with this amount of quantity on the maps, you definitely should expect to get a decent amount of exalts. What's also a nice thing about Dunes is that it drops a lot of acclimatization, hard word to say, cards, and Imperial Legacy, which you can turn into the balls, and you can sell the balls to a vendor for divine orbs. And as you can see, I have 11 divine orbs, and most of them came from the these balls, or you can sell them on trade. It is up to you. I just prefer to turn them into divine orbs because it's faster to sell them this way. And obviously this also is gonna give you a lot of alteration orbs, which are pretty decent. I think you can sell them like 5 to 1C, so it's definitely a pretty nice card. It's not crazy good, but it's just something on top. But yeah, you can see all of the loot in here, some essences, scarabs. Here are all of the Eldritch currency. I did drop 1 Eldritch Exalt and 1 Annul. All of the expedition currency, and I think I used 1 expedition Sentinel, but it was a pretty bad one. I think it was blue one that empowers only like 40 enemies, so it didn't give me that many rewards. Now here are all of the scarabs that I got from the Gilded Scarab Compass. Here are all of the breaches, which I already showed you earlier. I got, how many is it? 24, like a little bit more than 30 bridgestones, and these bridgestones came from the Xersht Ula. Here are all of the uniques that I got, and most of the uniques you're gonna get from the bridges are gonna be skins of the Loyal from the Chayula bridges, and you can sell them for divine orbs also, but most of them are gonna be worth around 15C. But if you actually check the colors on gem, they can actually be worth even more. And this one has 3 green and 3 blue, and this one is actually worth 1 exalt. So definitely check the colors on them before you're gonna sell them. I am probably gonna turn these into divine orbs because I'm too lazy with selling them, and divines are worth around 10C anyway, so I'm gonna do that. And Green Dream is not really worth anything, it's just 1C. And here are all of the rings, so I got almost full 2 dumps of breach rings, and I am probably gonna sample gamble with them. Okay, so that's basically it in terms of loot, so let's go and look at the spreadsheet. So it took me 4.5 hours to complete 40 maps. That was the loot from 40 maps. I plan to do more, but to be honest, it takes a little bit of time to do these maps, so I decided to do a little bit less, so I did only 40. I was buying them for 7C, actually some of them I did buy for 6C, same thing with Gilded Scarabs, I was buying them for 6C, but I think some of them I also was able to buy for like 5. Scarab Sextant, so the one that drops 3 Scarabs every map, cost like 25C, so I had to use 10 of them. 10 Bridge Sextants for 5C and 10 Chayula Sextants for 45C each. And I had to use 40 Scarabs, Gilded Scarabs, and again 60 per and 2C per map device. So in total I spent 1.3k chaos. In terms of loot, so this is the loot tab, so all of the Sentinel rewards mostly. I got 3.7k, Scarabs 900c, and if you look at the Scarab Sextants, I paid 250c, so it's definitely worth it to use this Sextant. Maybe some of them came from like Sentinel rewards, but maybe like 5% of them, I would say. Bridgestones, 1.6k, uniques, so the skins of the Loyal mostly, 280c, and rings 480. Total 7,000. So if you looked at the amount of money I made from bridges, I basically made this, this, and this. So around like 2.5k and 2.3k C, and from everything else I made like more than 4.5k. So it's definitely not a big portion of the loot. I mean, what I mean by that, like I got more loot from other stuff than from actually breaches during the breach strategy. But breaches are a good enabler for the Sentinel. So Sentinel definitely was a big part of the strategy, and main reason why I was able to get so many rewards are the breaches. But you definitely don't have to do breaches. Probably doing like a Sentinel strategy in Glacier would give you even better rewards. So, but yeah, in terms of the total results, I made 31 exalts, so 7x per hour, which to be honest, nowadays is not that great. Nowadays, a lot of strategies are making like 10x per hour, and especially considering that most of the loot came from the Sentinel and other stuff than breaches, I can definitely say right now, even though I didn't want breaches to be bad strategy, I can definitely admit breach strategy is not that great. Maybe if you actually had a better build than mine, you would probably make like 20% more. If you were not dying, maybe you can do the strategy in combination with other stuff. For example, Legion would probably be very nice. Legion is also very nice in Dunes, so you can do both of these things at the same time. Maybe with combination with some other stuff, Breach can be pretty nice, but just by itself, to be honest, it's not that great. It can be decent, but if you like doing breaches, go for it. But if you can do other stuff, I definitely am not gonna recommend this strategy. But yeah, you can't always win. A lot of my strategies turn out to be pretty good, but this one, I mean, again, if you like it, if you like doing breaches, it's not that bad. 7x per hour is definitely not that bad. But yeah, you can definitely make more of some other strategies. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.